G'day, everybody. How's it going out there? Well, in our new entry into our series of nonfiction furry YouTube channels, they're becoming a lot more bigger these days. Lots of different things, and not just like simple like podcasts, simple like person talking at camera. Anyway, yes. Hello, welcome to me talking at camera. Not just simple blogs, not just simple like current events things, but actual sort of documentaries, interviews, and actual like really cool and well put together pieces. One that was brought to my attention recently was one by one Zyly the fox. If I pronounce that wrong, then you may box my ears. I pronounced it wrong a few times, but I think it's Zyly. Zyly the fox. So they are a bigger channel than I am, but have a lot less videos. But obviously, they put a lot of production value into those videos. So it's actually very, very well done. They have a nice looking fursuit. Keep it very clean. Keep it very tidy. And also very good at cinematography. One of Zyly's latest videos, which is of interest. I turned off the wrong thing, because that's how I do it. I do it live, and it's always good. Is Unheard Voices of Latino America. This particular video that was produced by them does interviews with multiple furries within the Southwestern Hemisphere, countries from the Southwestern Hemisphere, otherwise known as Latin America. They come countries such as Mexico, Colombia, Venezuela, Peru, Brazil, Chile, Uruguay, and Argentina. Zyly themselves I believe it's himself, but it might be wrong. They are from Argentina, and they are the Argentinian first furry that does sort of the Q&A sort of thing about what it means to live in Argentina. And like there's many different things about, they usually cover, each of the interviewees covers a basically what it's like to be a furry in that country. How easy it is to interact with the rest of the fandom. What kind of things that they do and produce over there, and like the local scene as well, how the local scene is. There's actually a very interesting mix, and there is like a common thread, and the common thread, one of the big common threads of all the answers is typically how isolated it can feel to be in a Latin American furry, given how, infrastructure-wise, it's a lot harder to hold larger conventions. So the privileges that, those furries in the Northwest get, with these large get-togethers and hangouts, isn't quite a thing that can happen in Latin America so easily. Now there are, but like the interesting thing is that there was a mix of social political things. There's a lot of countries that were like, well, you can't really be furry too much because, a lot of, traditional cultural values. But there was one that was called Uruguay, which seemed to be particularly liberal, which was completely caught me off guard a little bit. But it's also like the interesting thing about the world. It's sort of like a fractal. There's certain areas that are, conservative in values, and there's certain that are liberal in values, and they're kind of intermixed everywhere. But just like any place that has liberal-esque values and values that, promote being more tolerant, interestingly enough, Uruguay is also apparently pretty expensive as a country compared to the others. So it seems to be a thing that happens. It's like places that are tolerant seem to be expensive. I don't know why that is. Just seems to be a thing. But obviously they talked about like the size of the groups that they can have and things like that, and it's a very interesting watch. I would absolutely recommend you give it a watch, and I'd absolutely recommend that you, if you're interested in an Argentinian furry's perspective on the world, to give Zyly a follow if you haven't already. You probably have. If you're watching this video, odds are you probably already have somebody who's 20,000, but I'm putting together a list here of nonfiction furries that I find very interesting and would recommend based on their content that they put online. But obviously, I have to put an asterisk, as with everything, I don't know the content of their character offline. So if something comes up where it's like, oh, that person's actually a jerk, really? Like, I don't know them personally. I just know them by their content. And I think you're looking for content. We're looking for content. We like content of character is something that is hard to discern online, as we have come to find out in the world. So, anyways, thank you guys very much for watching today. Kick that like, hit the subscribe button, kick a comment in the comment section. Be sure to give Zyly a look, and if you like the cut of their jib, give them a subscription too. I'm gonna get the hop out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.